Welcome to Only Good Heroes. I'm your host, Lucia Nazzaro. And on this show, we are highlighting incredible people and organizations making a huge impact in their community and our world. On today's show, we're welcoming the chairman of the Hope for Depression Research Foundation and also the creator of Hope Fragrances, the uplifting fragrance, Audrey Guss. Audrey, thank you so much for joining us.
Oh, it's wonderful to be here and lovely meeting you.
Lovely meeting you as well. For those that don't know, can you tell us a little bit about the Hope for Depression Foundation and the work that you do?
Oh, yes, absolutely. Hope for Depression Research Foundation was named after my mother, Hope, who struggled with depression for decades. In her memory, I started the foundation 14 years ago in order to find better treatments, new treatments, and to really find out the causes of depression. So we've been doing this advanced research in a very collaborative way with a group called the Depression Task Force, whose grants we fund.
And I feel like we could talk for hours about this topic and misdiagnosis and how there isn't a lot of research, there isn't a lot of funding sometimes in areas of mental health that need it so much. Why do you feel like, from your own experience, this foundation is so needed and critical?
Well, when I started doing research after my mother's death to find out, why didn't she get total relief for her symptoms? Why did she still have side effects and all? And I checked with neuroscientists and psychiatrists, psychopharmacologists to try to get a better sense of what was going on. And I found out that depression was still totally misunderstood. It was underfunded and under-researched. It's like depression was on the back burner of scientific research. We were trying to go to Mars. We have a new iPhone, every few months. And yet, one of the most important health issues of our time was really being put way, way in the background.
One of the ways that you fund your foundation, which is obviously critical for the reasons we were just discussing, is through Hope Fragrances. Can you tell us how you decided to create Hope Fragrances?
Since my mother loved fragrance, and since I was involved in fragrance in my past career as a skincare and cosmetic executive, I thought, why not put together a fragrance similar to what my mother used to love? And she always mixed fragrances. She loved lily of the valley, loved gardenia, loved jasmine, and loved tuberose. She'd use different bottles of different things and combine them. And I remember that. And when I decided to create a Hope fragrance in her memory, I went to Firmenich, one of the top 3 companies in the world, and I described what my mother used to do. And they said, this is terrific. My mother used to say that when she wore fragrance, she felt very up. She said, it makes me happy. I love to put that on. My mother would never leave the house without fragrance. 100% of any Hope fragrance sales go directly back to depression research at Hope for Depression Research Foundation. So it's something beautiful that you can do for yourself, for your senses, buy for a friend, or also support your community, support the greater health community by giving back in this very easy way. And there's a package insert in every box of Hope fragrance. And there are 3 fragrances: Hope Classic, Hope Sport, and we just created Hope Night.
Audrey, with COVID, I know that you do fundraising at events as well for your foundation. We noticed that you switched to online events. So can you tell us about some of the ways you are raising funds during COVID if people want to participate and get involved?
What we are doing is a virtual fundraiser. And we're going to be following a format that is our usual luncheon format. We usually hold it at the Plaza in New York with 350 people, but we're going to have 35 table hosts, virtual table hosts, who each will invite 10 to 12 people once they become a table host and chair. And we will have a program for them that is very similar to what we've done in reality and live, but this will be virtual. And then there'll be opportunity for the table host or hostess to interact with their guests and comment about the program that they'll be seeing and ask questions of perhaps a leader, a team leader that goes in to their table. And so there'll be some interactive approaches.
If people want to find out more about that event or make a donation, what's the best place that they can find out more and make donations?
It's so easy. hopefordepression.org. Everything is on there.
Audrey, can you tell us a story about someone that's benefited from the research that you have done with your foundation, if you do have one?
I have one of the most heartwarming stories. When I think about it, I just get tears and joy, feeling of joy, a combination of it. There is a wonderful young man. When we met him, he was 8 years old. His name is Shane Boylan. And unfortunately, his father had depression and committed suicide. And Shane loved to ride his bike with his dad. So after his dad's death, he wanted to do a bike ride and raise money. And he thought he'd raise about $200. And he wanted to give it somewhere to people who could make a difference. And he came across our website, our hopefordepression.org website. And he contacted us. And we were overjoyed that he wanted to do this. We helped him. We gave him yellow t-shirts. That's the color of hope, is yellow. And whatever way we could help him do his bike ride. That young man in New Jersey raised over $4,000 on his first bike ride. And he came to New York and presented a check. And I couldn't stop crying. It was so wonderful, so sweet of him. And how courageous also and smart to think of doing something with that money in memory of his father that would continue to help others perhaps not go through what he had to go through. So when he came to New York and we presented him with our Hope Award for Depression Advocacy, we gave him a new bike, and he's continuing to do the Ride of Hope and keep raising money. And we hope that he continues forever, and we know that whatever he donates to us is going to make a difference.
What is one of the greatest lessons that you've learned, either through your work through the foundation or creating Hope Fragrances, that you feel like is important to share?
I think it's making lemonade out of lemons in everything that we do every day on one of the most difficult and painful subjects of depression and mental health. We and our staff feel positive every day that we walk in. We think of positive ways to bring attention, raise awareness, find end benefits and results to our research. And I think that it all comes down to a feeling of wanting to give back. There is nothing like having a feeling and a sense of gratitude. It makes us feel good, but it also is one of the most positive feelings you can have in life. Every day, I wake up and I think of 3 things that I'm grateful for. And there are 3 different things every day. And I never run out of wonderful things that make me feel grateful to be alive, to be doing what I'm doing, and to really try to make a difference in life. There's no feeling like it other than love.
If someone's struggling right now with mental health, depression, especially now, like we talked about during COVID, numbers have just increased exponentially. What advice would you offer them?
Please get help. If you're not feeling like yourself, but if you're not feeling like yourself for a week or 2 weeks, you know something's off. Speak to a friend, speak to someone you trust, speak to someone that you feel comfortable with and say, something's off. I don't feel right. I'm not sleeping, or I'm sleeping too much. I'm not eating enough, or I'm eating too much. And all these other symptoms that there are. If you feel strange and off, please go see your internist. Your internist can get you to a proper mental health professional. Call, or if you're really feeling like life is just too much to bear, call the suicide prevention line. I think we have that for you also. And get help. Reach out, because there is help and people want to help. and you will feel better. You will absolutely feel better just by talking to somebody and then getting a diagnosis and then getting the help that there is out there for you.
And we would love to make, we know it's not that much, but we'd love to make $100 donation to your foundation today, just for your time and to say thank you and to help continue the hope.
Lucia, that is so kind. I'm touched. If everybody gave us $1 even, we would be able to find out what causes depression, cure depression, and find alternative ways to deal with depression. That is so kind of you. Thank you so much.
On behalf of everyone at Only Good Heroes, thank you for the work that you do, and how you're offering so much hope. I had a friend that said, if you take away someone's hope, you take away everything. So if you're giving people hope, you're giving them everything. So thank you for the work that you do.
Lucia, wonderful to meet you. Thank you for the time you've given me today.
For more uplifting stories, make sure to visit us at onlygood.tv. You can also find us on Instagram at onlygood.tv. We'll be back soon with more Only Good Heroes.